The screen flickered alive with static. At first, nothing but faint whispers of distorted sound. Then the image sharpened into a shaky recording from a colony world on the edge of human space. Buildings were burning. Towers once filled with families crumbled under alien fire. People screamed, their voices raw with fear. A mother clutched her child as the ground shook, the camera capturing their last desperate moments before being swallowed in flames. Soldiers fired rifles at massive alien machines, but their shots bounced harmlessly off shields of glowing light. The transmission ended in a single scream, cut short by static. Then darkness. Silence filled the council chamber on Earth. Representatives, generals, and leaders stared at the frozen final frame. The image of burning cities reflected in their eyes. The alien High Council had already broadcast their statement across the stars. They called it a necessary cleansing. They declared humanity too weak, too reckless to claim new worlds. Their fleets had erased a colony of 2 million people to send a message: submit or be destroyed. On the giant screen in Earth's assembly hall, the alien councillors were shown laughing. Some bared fangs, others hissed in strange tongues, their voices dripping with contempt. One alien, a warlord with ridged scales across his head, leaned forward and sneered. Humans build toys and call them ships. They spread like insects. Today we reminded them that the galaxy belongs to greater powers. Anger rippled through the human leaders, but not one spoke. The room remained still, like a predator waiting. Far above Earth, in the silent void of orbit, something stirred. For decades, humanity had hidden its true strength. Massive shipyards had been built in the shadows of Neptune and Pluto, hidden from alien eyes. Entire industries had been moved off-world, mining asteroids and moons, feeding a war machine that no outsider had ever seen. Now, those hidden foundries came alive, docking clamps released with thunderous cracks that echoed through space. Colossal silhouettes moved against the black, one after another, stretching longer than cities. The surface of Earth darkened as shadows of steel leviathans passed overhead. A fleet of 500,000 warships was awakening. Each one carried weapons forbidden by alien treaties. Railguns the size of skyscrapers. Antimatter torpedoes sealed in armored bays. Energy shields layered in ways no alien engineer had believed possible. On Earth's surface, people watched the skies. Children pointed as streaks of fire rose into the heavens. Families stood on rooftops and fields, their fear turning into awe as one warship after another climbed into orbit. In the command chamber of the human fleet, Admiral Helena Vera stood tall before her officers. Her voice was steady, her eyes like steel. They thought we were blind. They thought we were weak. Today they learned the truth. They slaughtered our people. Now humanity rises. A cheer erupted across the bridge, but Vera raised a hand and silence returned. This is not vengeance alone. This is survival. If we do not fight, if we do not strike with everything we have, Earth itself will burn. Every city, every child, every home. We cannot allow that. We will not allow that. Across the galaxy, alien intelligence agencies scrambled to intercept signals. Reports arrived in the council chamber, their analysts pale with fear. The aliens replayed grainy footage of warships leaving Earth. "This is impossible," one shouted. "They cannot have built such a fleet without our knowledge." Our spies reported no capacity of this scale, but the evidence was undeniable. Hundreds of thousands of human warships, sleek and black like steel predators, now filled Earth's orbit. In the alien council chamber, laughter turned into silence. The ridged warlord who had mocked humanity earlier now stared at the screen, his jaw clenched. "They should not have this power," he muttered. The galaxy trembled at the realization. Humanity, the species once dismissed as naive explorers, had been preparing for decades. Patient, silent, waiting, the war had already begun, and the first colony's ashes were only the spark. Back on Earth, Admiral Vera gave the order. Launch sequence. All ships begin departure. Engines flared, shaking the void with burning trails of light. One by one, the fleet of 500,000 warships began their march into the stars. Their numbers stretched so far that sensors could not capture them all in a single frame. The people of Earth watched in silence. Some cried, some shouted, but all understood the truth. Humanity was no longer defending. Humanity was going to war. And somewhere in the darkness of space, hidden alien fleets already waited. They had been watching, preparing their own trap. As the last human warship left orbit, a chilling signal cut through the void. A voice, alien and cruel, echoed on every frequency. You may bring your ships, you may bring your soldiers, but you will only bring them to their graves. The screen went black. The war for humanity's survival had begun. The alien High Council met in their vast chamber of marble and crystal. The hall stretched for miles, filled with the most powerful rulers of the galaxy. Their voices echoed like thunder, their faces twisted with mockery. One raised his clawed hand and laughed. Earth dares to resist. They send their cries into the void, begging for help. Let them shout. They have no fleet. They have no strength. They are children holding sticks against a storm. The chamber erupted in cruel laughter. Rows of alien diplomats slammed their hands on the polished stone in amusement. Another counselor, with glowing eyes and a mouth filled with fangs, sneered. A single colony burned and they weep. Their weakness is proof. Humanity was never fit to stand among us. The laughter rolled on, but then the room fell silent. A transmission signal forced its way onto every council screen. Static flashed. Then a face appeared. It was human. A commander stood on the bridge of a massive warship, his uniform sharp, his expression calm and cold. His eyes burned with fury, held in iron control. His words cut through the silence like a blade. You slaughtered 2 million of our people. You laughed while they burned. No more. You took one colony. Now we come for all of you. The chamber erupted in chaos. Alien voices shouted over each other. Some hissed in rage, others scoffed in disbelief. But the feed continued, the view shifted. The camera pulled back to reveal orbit above Earth. A storm of steel filled the skies. Thousands upon thousands of warships floated in formation, stretching across the heavens. Their hulls gleamed black, marked with the insignia of Earth and her colonies. The scale was impossible. The fleet was so vast that entire continents below fell into shadow. Alien counselors froze in shock. Reports began flooding their tables. Analysts cried out warnings. 500,000 warships confirmed. This is not illusion. This is real. Their fleet rivals all of ours combined. The ridged warlord from before slammed his fist into the council table. His scaled face twisted with rage. Lies. They cannot build this in secret. Not with our spies everywhere. But more reports came in. Grainy footage from alien scouts showed vast human shipyards hidden behind icy planets. Factories carved into asteroids. Convoys moving under stealth drives. Humanity had been preparing while the galaxy mocked them. A counselor with silver skin whispered in dread. How could they hide this? How could they build this much? No one answered. On Earth, engines thundered as the fleet began its departure. Families on the ground stared up at streaks of fire ripping across the night sky. Mothers held their children close. Farmers stopped in their fields to watch. Entire cities fell silent as the steel tide lifted into orbit. Admiral Helena Vera stood in her flagship, the Eternal Resolve. Her voice carried across the fleet. Today we march. Today we fight. The galaxy believes humanity is weak. They believe we are prey. They are wrong. We will show them the price of slaughter. We will show them what it means to wake humanity's wrath. Her words echoed across 500,000 ships. Crews roared with pride. Soldiers checked their weapons, their eyes hard. Pilots ran their hands across control panels, whispering promises to the ships they would fly into war. The fleet stretched into lines, preparing to leave the Sol system. Engines ignited, flaring like newborn suns. Back in the alien council chamber, fear spread like wildfire. Messages flashed across the hall. Military leaders scrambled to their fleets. Warlords shouted for emergency mobilization. One alien admiral hissed with fury. If humanity brings 500,000 warships, we will crush them with 5 times that. They cannot stand against the armadas of the galaxy. Another counselor narrowed his eyes. Then we make our stand now. If we allow them to leave their system, the war will consume us all. As the Council argued, human warships broke through the edge of soul space. Their engines burned brighter than stars, but they were not alone. Sensors on the Eternal Resolve lit up in alarm. A wave of red signals flooded the displays. Admiral Vera's officers turned pale. One stammered, "Admiral, we are not the hunters. We are the hunted." Enemy signatures ahead. Massive fleet detected. The screen filled with data. It was an alien armada, vast beyond comprehension. Ships layered in endless formations, stretching across sectors of space. More than 1,000,000 vessels. Heavy dreadnoughts, battle platforms, carriers bristling with fighters. They had been waiting. In the command chamber, Admiral Vera's jaw tightened. She knew this was no chance encounter. The Alien Council had laid their trap, preparing their own colossal fleet. For the first time, her voice carried a whisper of steel and fire. So they wanted war. Now they shall have it. The human fleet roared forward into the dark, engines blazing across the void. The alien armada began to move. The greatest battle in galactic history was about to begin. The void between the stars was silent. Two forces now faced each other, stretching across sectors of space. On one side, 500,000 human warships formed ranks. Their black hulls gleamed with silent menace, railgun barrels glowing faint red from charging coils. Carrier bays opened, releasing waves of fighters that swirled like angry hornets. Crews braced at their stations, every hand clenched tight with nerves and fury. On the other side, the alien armada spread like a sea of fire. Over 1,000,000 vessels, warships older than humanity's nations, built with technologies refined over centuries. Their engines lit the void with pale blue flame. Their commanders smirked across communication feeds, certain that numbers alone meant victory. Admiral Helena Vera stood at the heart of her flagship, the Eternal Resolve. Her eyes never wavered from the tactical screen. The alien fleet dwarfed them, but she refused to flinch. Her voice was calm, carrying across the comms of hundreds of thousands of ships. Humanity does not bow. Humanity does not break. All vessels prepare to fire. The alien warlord leading the opposing fleet barked a cruel laugh. His scaled face filled the human comms for an instant. You cannot hope to stand against us. We are the Council. You are nothing but prey. Admiral Vera cut the channel with a single gesture. Fire. The void exploded into light from the human fleet. Came the first strike, salvos of antimatter. Torpedoes screamed across the dark, their trails bright as suns. Railguns fired with earth-shaking force, each round a spear of metal traveling at near-light speed. The alien fleet reeled as the first impacts hit. Entire dreadnoughts vanished in silent fireballs, shields tearing apart under the raw violence of human weapons. The antimatter detonations cracked through their lines, leaving glowing wrecks tumbling into the void. Across the galaxy, observers gasped. No one had believed the humans capable of such destruction, but the aliens struck back. Columns of plasma lanced from their heavy carriers, burning through human cruisers like paper. Their swarm of fighters dove into the human ranks, each one armed with cutting beams that sliced steel apart. Dozens of human warships were reduced to drifting husks in the first counterattack. The clash shook the void. Ship against ship, formation against formation, the battle was chaos and fire. Inside the Eternal Resolve, alarms screamed as plasma blasts raked across her shields. Hull plating glowed red from heat, shields at 70%. An officer shouted. Admiral Vera gripped the command rail. Hold the line. We push forward. Human formations adjusted. Fleets of destroyers raced ahead, unleashing coordinated volleys of missile storms. Battleships rolled to the flanks, hammering enemy carriers. The alien armada began to buckle as thousands of their ships fell. For the first time in centuries, the High Council's fleets were being pushed back. Alien commanders screamed into their comms. Impossible. Their weapons tear through our shields. How can primitives build such power? But the battle was far from won. From the depths of the alien formation, massive war platforms activated. Each one was larger than a human city, bristling with guns that fired beams thick as rivers. The first beam cut across human lines. 10 battleships vaporized in an instant. A carrier exploded, releasing a flash that blinded sensors for seconds. Then the swarm came. Alien drone ships, tens of thousands of them, poured into the battle like locusts. They threw themselves at human warships, detonating on impact, shredding armor with suicidal precision. In minutes, hundreds of human ships were gone. Admiral Vera's jaw tightened. She turned to her officers. Release the planetary breakers. The command was given. From hidden bays, enormous warheads launched. Each one was a weapon banned across the galaxy, built to shatter entire worlds. Humanity had built them not for planets, but for fleets. The breakers detonated in the heart of the alien formation. The blast waves ripped across miles of space, annihilating entire clusters of ships. Alien commanders screamed as their fleets broke apart. For a moment, silence. And then the humans roared forward, pushing into the gap. Tearing the alien fleet apart ship by ship, hope sparked in every human heart. Against impossible odds, they were winning. But the sensors screamed again. On the tactical screen, new red signatures appeared. At first a few, then hundreds, then thousands. The officer's voice shook. Admiral. Reinforcements. Massive alien reinforcements entering from hyperspace. The blackness of space lit up with fire. A second alien armada unfolded from the void, even larger than the first. Their dreadnoughts cast shadows across the stars. Their weapons lit with deadly glow. The first clash of giants had only been the beginning. Humanity had bloodied the Council, but now the true test had arrived. Admiral Vera stared at the endless wave of ships, her hands steady on the command rail. Ready all weapons, she whispered. The real war begins now. The void burned as a million more alien ships moved to strike. The void was fire. The first alien armada lay shattered, drifting in burning pieces. Human warships pushed forward, their guns still hot, their hulls scarred. But before the crews could cheer, the sensors lit red with new threats. A second alien fleet emerged from hyperspace. It was enormous, dwarfing even the first. Millions of vessels filled the dark, their formations spreading like a storm across the stars. Admiral Helena Vera stood in silence on the bridge of the Eternal Resolve. Her officers looked at her with fear. The screens showed impossible numbers. Admiral, one whispered, they outnumber us 20-1. The alien warlord's voice thundered across every human channel. You fought well for insects, but this is the end. Your fleet dies here. Humanity dies with you. Human soldiers clenched their fists. Pilots muttered prayers. Families watching the broadcast from Earth held their breath. The alien fleet moved as one. Beams and plasma lit the dark, tearing into the human ranks. Hundreds of ships vanished in minutes. On Earth, entire cities watched the live feed in horror. Some cried out, thinking it was over, but in the command chamber of the Eternal Resolve, Admiral Vera whispered a single word. Release it. Her officers froze. Then one nodded and entered the command. The galaxy shifted. From the far edge of the Sol system, behind Neptune's shadow, titanic shapes emerged. At first, they looked like moons drifting in the dark. But as their engines ignited, their true nature was revealed. They were warships, but nothing like the galaxy had ever seen. Each one was larger than a continent, forged in secret over 30 years. Their hulls bristled with weapons powerful enough to pierce stars. Their names burned across their sides in bold human script. Black Star. The alien fleets went silent as their sensors confirmed the truth. The humans had not revealed their greatest weapon. They had hidden it until now. The first Black Star ship moved into position. Its colossal railgun, stretching the length of a mountain range, glowed bright white. Energy surged, shaking the void itself. Then it fired. The shot ripped across light seconds of space. A beam of destruction that no shield could stop. An alien dreadnought the size of a city exploded in a single strike. The Black Star ships opened fire one after another. Planet cracker cannons, antimatter lances, weapons outlawed across the galaxy for being too destructive. Alien fleets that had mocked humanity now screamed in panic. Entire formations crumbled in seconds. In the alien council chamber, leaders shouted in chaos. They built super ships. This is impossible. They were primitives. They have weapons older empires refuse to build. If they win here, the balance of power is finished. The galaxy trembled at the sight. Humanity, once mocked as weak explorers, now revealed themselves as master warmakers. But the battle was not over. The alien armada rallied. Massive battleships focused fire on a single black star. Its shields flared as endless plasma burned against it. Armor cracked. Warning sirens echoed. One of the giants shuddered under the storm. Inside, thousands of crew fought to keep it alive. Engineers welded glowing hull plates. Pilots rushed to their stations. The ship held, for now. On the eternal resolve, Admiral Vera's voice carried like steel. Press the attack. No retreat, no surrender. The Black Stars will open the way. Human fleets surged behind their titans, striking like wolves under the protection of their new gods of war. The void became chaos. Alien drones smashed against shields, detonating in waves. Human fighters cut through them, weaving between explosions. The Black Stars fired again and again, each shot tearing holes in the alien lines. For the first time, the alien fleets felt fear. Their numbers no longer guaranteed victory, but then a chilling report came from Earth Command. A new signal, a colossal reading. The officer on Vera's bridge went pale. "Admiral, an alien weapon is moving toward Earth itself." The room froze. On the tactical display, a ship appeared. No, not a ship. Something far larger, a doomsday construct, longer than a continent, escorted by an entire fleet. Its weapons glowed like suns. It was not heading for the Black Star fleet. It was heading for Earth. Admiral Vera's hand clenched the command rail. For all the Black Star's power, they were too far from the homeworld to intercept in time. The alien warlord's voice returned, dripping with cruel triumph. "You thought yourselves strong. But while you play in space, we strike your heart. Earth will burn. Your people will burn." The bridge filled with silence. Crews stared at the tactical screen, showing the monstrous ship moving closer to Earth's orbit. Families on Earth looked up at the night sky. A second moon now hung above them, but it was no moon. It was death. The doomsday weapon began charging. The light on its surface grew brighter, a glow that promised the end of everything. Admiral Vera's voice was low, filled with fire. "Signal every ship. Earth must hold, no matter the cost." The stars themselves seemed to tremble as humanity prepared to fight for its homeworld. The people of Earth stared into the night sky. Above them, a second moon had appeared. At first, many thought it was an illusion, but then the truth spread across news feeds. It was not a moon, it was an alien weapon. The doomsday ship loomed in orbit, its size so vast that continents could fit inside its hull. Whole fleets escorted it, bristling with guns and fighter swarms. Its presence cast shadows across cities. Children pointed in fear. Families held each other tight. Soldiers prepared in silence, knowing what was coming. On the ground, the first attack began. A lance of energy fired from the alien weapon, striking Earth's upper atmosphere. The sky ripped apart in fire. A shockwave thundered across the planet, shattering windows in half the world. Satellites burned. Defense stations crumbled. In New York, people screamed as the night sky turned bright white. In Beijing, power grids collapsed as electromagnetic pulses surged. In Cairo, a defense tower was vaporized, leaving only a smoking crater. Billions watched in horror. Earth itself was under siege. But humanity was not unprepared. Hidden across the planet, massive orbital cannons rose from silos. Defense satellites activated, firing beams of burning light upward. Space around Earth came alive with shields and fire. The alien fleets met resistance they had not expected. Human defense platforms unleashed storms of missiles, cutting down the first waves of alien fighters. Orbital guns struck back at escort ships, ripping holes in their lines. Still, the doomsday ship advanced. Its massive core began to glow, charging for a full planetary strike. One beam, and a continent could be destroyed. In the war room beneath the Pentagon, commanders shouted orders. Their faces were pale, but their voices carried steel. All ground forces mobilize. Every fighter squadron launch. We will not let them reach the surface. Above, human pilots flew into the dark. Squadrons of fighters rose through the clouds, streaking toward the alien swarms. They collided in the upper atmosphere, battles raging so close that fragments rained down like meteors. On the Eternal Resolve, Admiral Helena Vera received the desperate transmission. The image of Earth filled her screen, cities burning as alien fire struck. The alien doomsday ship loomed closer. Her officers waited for her command. "Admiral, if they fire that weapon at full power, Earth is finished," one said. His voice trembling, Vera's eyes narrowed. "Then we stop them before they fire. Signal the Black Stars. Redirect to Earth," engines flared. The colossal Black Star warships broke formation, turning back toward the homeworld. Their massive cannons charged, ready to meet the enemy head-on. But time was running out. The alien doomsday ship finished charging. Its core shone like a miniature sun, glowing brighter with each second. The ground on Earth shook as energy built above the skies. Civilians fell to their knees in prayer. Soldiers braced for death. The world held its breath, and then a human battleship captain made a choice. On the Iron Rain, Captain Sarai Kalan looked at the glowing monster in orbit. She knew her weapons could not stop it. But her ship was fast. Her crew watched as she stood tall. "We will not let Earth fall. Prepare to ram." The crew's eyes widened, but none argued. They set the course. The Iron Rain roared forward, engines burning at full power. It cut through swarms of alien fighters, shields blazing, hull torn apart piece by piece. The alien doomsday ship began to fire. Its weapons' glow turned blinding white, and then the Iron Rain struck. The battleship slammed into the alien weapons' core. For one brief instant, the sky turned brighter than day. The explosion tore across orbit, shaking Earth itself. People on the ground screamed, then cheered, as the alien doomsday ship's massive glow sputtered and died. But the victory was not complete. The explosion had crippled the weapon, but not destroyed it. Its hull still loomed above Earth, smoking but alive. And worse, new signals appeared. Alien commanders transmitted to their fleets. Deploy the second. Deploy the third. On Earth's sensors, 2 more colossal doomsday ships emerged from hyperspace. Each one as large as the first. Each one already charging. The people of Earth watched in horror. The sacrifice of the Iron Rain had bought them minutes, nothing more. In the command chamber of the Eternal Resolve, Admiral Vera's voice was calm, though her eyes burned with fire. "We will fight. We will hold. Earth does not fall." But inside she knew the truth. 3 doomsday weapons aimed at Earth. Humanity had seconds to find a miracle. The sky burned red as the second weapon began charging. The skies above Earth were no longer blue, they burned red with fire. Debris from shattered ships rained down through the atmosphere. The first alien doomsday weapon still drifted in orbit, its hull broken but not destroyed. Now 2 more had arrived, each larger, each charging their colossal guns. On the ground, sirens wailed in every city. Civilians crowded into bunkers. Soldiers dug trenches in the fields outside capitals. Fighter pilots strapped into their cockpits with shaking hands, knowing this would be their last flight if Earth's defenses failed. Families held one another tight. Some prayed. Others stared in silence at the sky, waiting for death or salvation. From orbit, the view was worse. The alien fleet swarmed like locusts around the doomsday ships, their plasma beams raking across Earth's orbital guns. Human satellites and stations exploded one by one, filling the void with burning wreckage, yet humanity refused to give in. Earth's planetary defense platforms opened fire. Beams of white light shot upward, spearing alien escorts. Surface-to-orbit missiles roared from hidden silos, punching holes through formations. The sky above continents glowed with endless flashes as weapons crisscrossed. Still, the enemy pressed closer. Inside the Pentagon's war bunker, generals stood over glowing maps of Earth's defenses. Her commander slammed his fist onto the table. If one of those weapons fires at full power, we lose a continent. If two fire, we lose the planet. The room was silent. They all knew the truth. Humanity's only chance was to delay until the Black Star fleet could reach Earth. In orbit, Admiral Helena Vera commanded from the Eternal Resolve. Her voice carried across battered human channels. All ships, hold the line. Protect the planet at any cost. Earth must not fall. Across the fleet, her words burned like fire in their hearts. Destroyers darted through the chaos, intercepting incoming alien torpedoes. Cruisers sacrificed themselves, ramming escorts to open paths for Earth's guns. Even damaged frigates turned themselves into shields, burning in silence as they absorbed enemy fire meant for the planet. Then, the first alien doomsday ship finished charging. Its core glowed like a false sun. The beam fired, the shot struck the Pacific Ocean. Water turned to vapor in an instant, tsunamis racing across coastlines. Entire islands vanished. Millions screamed as waves crashed upon cities. The world shook, but humanity struck back. The Black Star warships arrived. Colossal shadows filled the sky, their engines thundering like gods. Their cannons charged, burning bright. With one volley, they unleashed devastation. Antimatter lances tore through alien cruisers. Planet cracker rounds ripped holes straight through doomsday escorts. The battle turned into a storm. One Black Star, the Titan's Wrath, locked onto the crippled first doomsday ship. Its massive railgun fired a shot that pierced the alien weapon's core. The explosion lit the heavens like a star dying, fragments scattering across orbit. Cheers erupted across Earth. For a moment, hope returned. But the fight was not over. The second doomsday ship fired. Its beam struck Europe. Cities from Berlin to Warsaw vanished in light. The ground shook as firestorms consumed entire regions. Millions more perished in minutes. The people of Earth cried in terror, their hope turning to ash. On the Eternal Resolve, Admiral Vera's fists tightened on the command rail, signaled the Black Stars. That ship dies now. The giants obeyed. Their guns aligned. Salvos of antimatter fire and railgun rounds hammered the second doomsday ship. Its shields collapsed, its escorts burned away. Its core shattered in a chain reaction of blinding light. Another cheer rose from the human fleet, though tears still fell on Earth below. But then, silence. The third doomsday ship loomed above Earth. Its weapon was still charging, and this one was different. Sensors screamed warnings. The energy buildup was far greater than the others. If it fired, not a continent, but the entire planet would be destroyed. Officers turned pale as they read the data. One whispered, "Admiral, this shot will crack Earth itself." The alien warlord's voice filled every frequency, cold and merciless. "You have fought bravely. But bravery is not enough. Watch as your home burns. Watch as Earth dies." The glow from the weapon lit the night sky, brighter than the sun. Families on the surface looked upward, seeing their doom hanging above. Inside the Eternal Resolve, Admiral Vera gave her final command. "All ships, focus fire. If Earth falls, humanity falls." The Black Stars turned their weapons toward the third doomsday ship. The cannons burned white, charging for a final volley. But before they could fire, alarms screamed, "Admiral!" An officer shouted, "Enemy reinforcements!" Another fleet behind us. The view screens filled with horror. A massive alien fleet had emerged from hyperspace, dwarfing even the first two armadas. They had come to ensure Earth's death. The third doomsday weapon was seconds away from firing. The new alien fleet closed in from behind. Humanity was trapped. Admiral Vera's face hardened. "Then we fight to the last. Earth must not burn." The sky burned brighter, and the world braced for the end. The third alien doomsday weapon burned above Earth, its core glowing like a star about to explode. One shot, and Earth would shatter into dust. Behind humanity's fleet, a fresh alien armada emerged from hyperspace, dwarfing the first. The trap had closed. In the war room of the Eternal Resolve, Admiral Helena Vera stood in silence as alarms screamed. Officers shouted numbers, casualty counts, desperate warnings. "Admiral, we are surrounded." One cried, "Admiral, the weapon is seconds from firing." Another shouted. The Admiral's voice cut through the chaos like a blade. "Then we change the battlefield. Signal every ship. Operation Vengeance begins now." The bridge crew froze. That phrase was whispered only in the darkest planning rooms. It was not defense. It was not retreat. It was humanity's final gamble. Strike the enemy homeworld itself. The order went out. Across Earth's fleet, captains stiffened. Some whispered prayers. Others smiled grimly. And then the Black Star fleet turned away from Earth. Engines blazed as hundreds of colossal ships activated hyperspace drives. Smaller escorts followed, carrying Earth's fury with them. In a flash of light, the core of humanity's armada vanished into the stars. The alien fleet reeled in surprise. For a moment, their commanders hesitated, unsure if the humans had fled. But then transmissions came, cold and mocking. "Let them run. Earth cannot escape." The doomsday weapon charged brighter. Its shot would finish the planet. But humanity had not abandoned Earth. Hidden defense bunkers, buried deep under mountains, came alive. Long-dormant weapons rose from the ground. Titanic rail cannons, planetary plasma lances, orbital mines. Earth revealed the traps it had kept secret for decades. As the alien armada advanced, the planet itself fired back. From the Rockies, a railgun the size of a skyscraper launched tungsten rounds into orbit, smashing through alien cruisers. From Siberia, a plasma tower ignited burning escorts to ash. Across the oceans, hidden submarines fired torpedoes that ripped apart descending landing craft. Earth itself roared in defiance. Still, the alien weapon charged. The sky glowed brighter with each second. But in deep space, the Black Star fleet emerged from hyperspace, inside the alien empire. Their target was not a fleet, not a ship, not a weapon. Their target was the alien homeworld. The planet hung before them, massive and proud, covered in glowing cities, protected by vast defense rings. It was the seat of the Alien Council, the birthplace of the Armadas, the heart of the Empire. For centuries, the aliens had never feared attack. They had thought Earth weak, a prey species unworthy of consideration. But now human guns aimed at their home. The Admiral's voice carried across the fleet. "This is not revenge. This is survival. Strike their heart, and the monster dies." The Black Stars opened fire. Gigantic railguns thundered, firing rounds that tore through orbital defenses. Antimatter lances carved scars across the planet's shields. Swarms of drones poured out, overwhelming alien satellites. On the alien homeworld, panic spread for the first time in living memory. The council chambers shook as explosions lit the skies above their capital. Alien leaders screamed orders, their faces pale with shock. "This is impossible." "They cannot reach us," one shouted. "They should be defending their world." Another wailed, but it was too late. Humanity had come for their heart, yet the enemy was not powerless. Massive alien fleets scrambled from hidden shipyards. Dreadnoughts launched, their guns burning bright. Planetary shields absorbed volley after volley. The skies above their world turned into a storm of fire. The Black Stars fought like demons, but the numbers were overwhelming. On the Eternal Resolve, Admiral Vera knew the truth. They could not win a drawn-out battle. They needed something greater. Something final. Her second officer leaned close. His voice shook. "Admiral, should we use it?" Her eyes narrowed. She thought of Earth, still under siege. She thought of the billions who would die if the third weapon fired. She thought of the oath she had sworn. Humanity survives, no matter the cost. Her hand tightened on the command rail. "Prepare the Nova Strike." Gasps filled the bridge. The Nova Strike was the most dangerous weapon humanity had ever built. It was not meant to destroy ships. It was meant to burn worlds. Charging it meant dooming herself, her fleet, and everything around her. But it also meant one thing. If it fired, the alien homeworld would be reduced to a burning shell. Engines roared as the Eternal Resolve powered up its core. Massive conduits glowed white-hot. The ship trembled as power drained into the weapon. On the alien homeworld, commanders realized what was happening. Their panicked voices echoed across comms. They dare use such a weapon against us? Stop them. Destroy that ship at all costs. Alien dreadnoughts broke formation, diving straight toward the Eternal Resolve. Battles burned around it, Black Stars throwing themselves into the path to protect their flagship. One by one they were torn apart, but they bought seconds. Seconds were enough. The Nova Strike reached full charge. The ship groaned under the pressure. Alarms screamed. But Admiral Vera's eyes burned with iron. Fire! The Eternal Resolve unleashed its fury. A beam of burning light erupted, brighter than a sun, lancing across space and slamming into the alien homeworld. Shields shattered like glass. Cities burned in firestorms. Oceans boiled. Mountains melted. The alien homeworld screamed as the Nova Strike cut into its core. But just as the weapon fired, the alien armada closed in. A dreadnought slammed into the Eternal Resolve, detonating in a blinding explosion. Flames roared across the bridge. Officers were thrown from their stations. The Admiral held on, staring at the burning planet below. "Did we finish it?" she whispered. The screens flickered. The alien homeworld burned, but it still lived. The planet was cracked, wounded, screaming, but not destroyed, and behind it more alien fleets arrived, pouring from hyperspace in endless numbers. The Nova Strike had failed to end them. Admiral Vera stood in the fire, her face pale but her eyes unbroken. "Then we keep fighting, until the last." The stars burned with fire as the war's final stage began. The alien homeworld burned, cities were in flames, oceans boiled. The planet cracked under the fury of the Nova Strike. Yet it still lived. Alien fleets poured from hyperspace, endless waves of warships answering the call to defend their dying empire. The human Black Star fleet, battered and broken, stood in the fire. Their engines smoked. Their shields flickered. But not a single ship retreated. On the Eternal Resolve, Admiral Helena Vera stood among sparks and fire. Her bridge was wrecked, her crew wounded, but her voice carried like iron. "We came here to end this war. We do not leave until humanity's future is secured." Her words spread across every human channel. Pilots bleeding in their cockpits clenched their jaws. Destroyer crews cheered through tears. Soldiers on Earth, watching from bunkers, shouted her name. This was the final dawn. The alien warlord's voice broke across the comms, full of rage and madness. "Human vermin, you have scarred our world, but you will not survive this day. Your species ends now." His command unleashed the storm. Thousands of alien ships surged forward, drowning space in plasma fire. The Black Stars roared back, their cannons tore apart dreadnoughts. Antimatter lances cut through carriers. Whole formations vanished in the first volley. Yet for every alien ship destroyed, 3 more took its place. The battle was beyond chaos. Stars seemed to vanish under the firestorm. Explosions lit the void like suns. Hulls cracked. Shields shattered. Crews screamed as their ships were torn apart, but humanity fought like no other species ever had. The Titan's wrath rammed an alien mothership, detonating its reactors in a blast that shattered half a fleet. The Silver Horizon fired until its guns melted, then crashed itself into the heart of the enemy command ship. Everywhere, human ships gave everything. Still, it was not enough. The Nova Strike had wounded the alien homeworld, but its core pulsed with energy, rebuilding. Alien engineers worked desperately to stabilize it. If they succeeded, the Empire would endure. Admiral Vera knew the truth. A second Nova Strike could not be charged. The Eternal Resolve was dying. Humanity had one option left. She turned to her crew, her voice calm despite the fire. "We take the fight to the core. Prepare a burn run. All power to engines. We are the spear." Her officers stared at her, knowing what she meant. To crash the Eternal Resolve into the alien planet's core itself. To burn the heart of the Empire with their own lives. Not one objected. "All hands," the Admiral said, her voice broadcast across the fleet. "This is our last dawn. Fight as though every soul of Earth watches you." Because they do, the Eternal Resolve surged forward. Engines screamed. Flames trailed from its hull. Alien ships swarmed to stop it. But the Black Stars moved as one. They formed a wall around their flagship. They blocked beams with their own bodies. They hurled themselves into alien dreadnoughts. They bled so the Admiral's ship could fly. The Admiral's eyes locked on the burning planet below. The alien core pulsed, glowing brighter and brighter, almost alive. "Forward," she whispered. Alien fleets closed in. The eternal resolve took blow after blow. Hull plating peeled away. Fires spread across every deck. Alarms screamed. Still, it flew. Finally, the ship broke through the enemy lines. The planet filled the viewscreen, vast and burning. The core glowed like a second sun. "Impact course locked," her helmsman said, his voice steady. "Crew secure?" she asked. "They know, Admiral." "They're ready." For a moment, silence. Admiral Vera closed her eyes. She thought of Earth, the forests, the seas, the children who might yet live free. She thought of humanity, not broken but unyielding. Her final order was simple: burn. The eternal resolve plunged. Alien fleets screamed warnings. Their commanders begged to stop the human flagship, but nothing could. The ship pierced the atmosphere, trailing fire like a falling star. It streaked across the sky of the alien capital, watched by billions in terror. And then it struck the core. The world exploded. Light consumed the skies. The core imploded, ripping the planet apart from within. Mountains split. Oceans turned to steam. The alien homeworld cracked and shattered. The shockwave tore through orbit, annihilating fleets, human and alien alike. Entire armadas burned in the white fire. And then silence. When the light faded, there was no planet. Only a burning grave where the alien homeworld had been. Fragments of the eternal resolve drifted in the void, glowing embers of a ship that had carried humanity's hope. Earth listened in silence. Across bunkers and cities, tears fell. They knew the Admiral and her fleet were gone. But they also knew the alien empire was finished. Leaderless, broken, and without their world, the remaining fleets scattered. The war was over. Humanity had survived. On Earth, the dawn rose over smoking cities. The skies were scarred but alive. Children stepped out of shelters. Families looked upward. For the first time in years, hope returned, and in the void, where the eternal resolve had burned, only one message remained. Transmitted in its final moment, humanity endures. The story of Earth's survival would echo across the stars for eternity.